Coming up, we have the Oakland Center. We're going to bring you there.
And a Grind for Green event.
And we're going to have a tribute to a young man who went to June Jordan who was killed. So stick around.
YOTV.
Oh boy, yeah, we YOTV, we back here.
Youth culture, youth voices, youth power, coming at you.
What's happening, we YOTV out here?
Before we go any further, I have to big up the magazine. Youth Outlook.
Youth Outlook, chronicle of young people's lives in the Bay Area.
Known all over the Bay and beyond.
Got a lot of good stuff for you this time.
Yo, good evening, people. How's it going? I am Donnie.
I'm Jasmine A.
Yes, and I have to say I'm still very tired. I'm jet lagged, a lot of traveling, but I'm back here with you guys. I'm rocking with you. So Jazz, tell them what's going on.
Welcome back. So right now we're gonna go to Oakland, to the Oakland Youth Center, where we talk to Mrs. Lee, who is a mentor to the youth in that community. So let's go.
We got fobs out here, we got squares, we got nerds, we got gangsters, we got thugs, we got drug dealers, we got almost everything out here.
And they all hang out peacefully?
Yeah, we all get along.
Anytime. When we were children, this was actually my playground. My name is Darlene Lee, and I work here at the Lincoln Square Recreation Center. I have been employed with the Parks and Recreation since 1982. And my job here is to work with the Asian teen children or young people. Usually I'm outside in the front and I try to get to be very visible, so oftentimes I'm out there picking up trash or just checking on things, and then if the kids see me and they have something on their mind, we'll sit down by the tree and we'll talk, or sometimes they'll come into the office and share something with me. This is a bag of Dum Dum Pops, and this is how I get to know every boy and girl on this playground.
She understands about, teenage life like us. Sometimes, our parents, they don't understand what we go through. But Miss Lee, she does, because she understands how we think. Because me and my parents, we barely talk right now, They always working, and I'm always doing my thing.
I could talk to Miss Lee about anything I'm going through, and there's nothing for me to have no problem to talk to her about. She would just talk to me easy, instead of sometimes if I get involved with my family, then they're gonna start yelling at me.
When we were kids, we had fist fights. And probably the worst thing you would do is throw something at someone. But then, as I started working here at the playground, the teens got more angry and they started using bats. And also, they just started to bring knives onto the playground. And maybe in the later years, they started bringing guns. If you notice, we have a lot of other children here on the playground today, and these are from the charter school, Bay Tech. And they have minimum day today, so they hang out here until around 4 o'clock and then they go home. And when we once asked them, why don't you guys go back to your neighborhood, or where do you come from? They said, oh, it's not safe in our neighborhood, so we play here and then we go home. This is probably the saddest day of my life. This young man, Joseph, I've known him since he was 4.5 years old. That very day that he was shot, he came to visit me, and he brought me a beautiful box of cookies, and he brought me some candy, and he said, oh, Mrs. Lee, I love you. And he was really big. He's like a soft teddy bear, but I don't know what he got himself into, and he ended up getting shot. It was late at night, and he and his friend drove up to their friend's house, and as soon as he got out of the car, somebody ambushed him and shot him 16 times, I believe. And this is the only funeral I had ever attended.
Well, out here, a lot of times people would try to jack us and stuff, but then this is our place to kick it, so we kind of fight them off. And she kind of told me not to do things, so that's why I'm still here talking.
Miss Lee is she's a great lady to talk to, or if you have any problem, you can go ahead and talk to her. She like to talk to you about things, so you will be going the straight path instead of turning the wrong path.
I think that the teenagers come to see me because I have been here for so long. I'm kind of like an old statue here, they would tease me. And they feel comfortable sharing their ideas with me and also their troubles. And they know that I will listen to them, and they know that I'm always here for them.
Yeah, I know Miss Lee. I knew her ever since I was a little kid. I used to always come out here. I used to go to Chinese school over there. Yeah. Yeah, and I used to always talk to Miss Lee. She runs the spot, and like, you know, I'm just trying to be a good boy in front of her, of course. Yeah, because I am good though, at heart, yeah.
I think all the kids out here listen, because everybody out here know for like at least 4 or 5 years. Everybody grew up with her. She was out here when our older cousins was out here. She's like an OG.
Trung started coming to the playground, and he was telling me that he was going to continuation school. And then he has hopes to go to college, so he wants to go to Cal State. He knows that he wants to get out of the gang life. And I think most of the guys think going to college is kind of a nerdy thing, and they have this image they want to keep. We do have those boys who understand that in order for them to succeed, they need to have a good education.
I got accepted to Cal State, and I'm gonna be attending there pretty soon.
So we're gonna go to commercial break for a second. While we do that, you check out Yo Blogger. Them hater blockers.
It's a website.
They go.
Check it out.
She mysterious right now.
Can't see where I'm looking.
I don't even know where she
I'm
looking. Where is she
you.
looking? Where are you looking?
You don't know.
I don't even know.
All right, so recently, 18-year-old Joshua Cameron got murdered last Friday, and he was going to June Jordan, wasn't in the troublesome lifestyle, I guess, and you know, he was just, it was a case of mistaken identity, and I don't know, I just think that's kind of messed up. But we caught up with his relatives, talked to them, so check it out.
I brought a quote from perhaps the most read author on the face of the earth. I brought a quote from the person that writes the fortune cookies. And this fortune says, use your abilities at this time to stay focused on your goal. You will succeed.
In the past 2 weeks, we have lost 2 people. We lost George and Joshua.
What happened to Joshua Cameron, was he was in, at the time, he was in the Fillmore district with 2 of another students at June Jordan. And basically, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time because he also lives in Bayview Centers Point. So what happened was he and my other friends were walking and went to McDonald's, and then they came back and some guy walked up on him and he was like, oh, are you so-and-so and so-and-so? And he's like, no, I'm Joshua. I go to this school. I live in this place. And the dude walked off and was like, oh. Then another guy came up and he started, you know, popping out shots, and he kept on shooting at him. We shot him point blank all in the chest. So just the fact that he got shot, it was like for misidentification. If he said that he wasn't the person that he said he was, he shouldn't have been popped in the first place. My other friend, George, aka G1 Youth Speaks winner of I think 2006, 2005, around that time, he got shot. I don't even know why he got shot. There shouldn't have been a reason why he got shot, because as far as I was concerned, he wasn't a part of any gang. He wasn't a part of any, you know, substance abuse or nothing. All he did was write rhymes and write poetry, and that was about it. And he got shot, and they popped him like 10 times.
Everybody loved him at this school. This school is, since we heard this information, it's been really bad. Like, he wasn't even a bad person. You could feel that good vibe when you're standing right next to him. Joshua, he was cute too. Ladies, he was cute. Can't even lie. And he loved making people happy, like, and because Joshua, if you was really here and the way the media is portraying him as just another black 18-year-old killed, no, it's more than that. And he didn't deserve to die. He was gonna do great things with his life. He had great friends here. It's just sad to see that he's gone.
I've been affected by this violence because it's very difficult to be outside now. Like, it just makes you have to walk around looking over your shoulder and just, you know, being aware of where you're at and who you're with, and you know, it's affected me because, you know, I'm not necessarily afraid to go out, but it definitely makes me like tense.
I feel like the government is spending a lot of their time and focusing on one thing, and that's the war. And the war, you know, it's in the other side, but they should focus more on, you know, the United States and right here in the streets, because right now we should be having more schools. They should be building more schools, less prisons, and they should be giving us more supplies. And, you know, right now, the violence with the youth, you know, shooting up each other, gangbanging, you know, selling drugs and stuff like that, it could be preventable if we would have more schools and stuff.
I think he's up there with God, watching over us and stuff, so.
On Friday night, I phoned Joshua on his cell phone, and typically he did not pick up. He thought it was probably Dad. And, but I was leaving a message for him. I was tired and I was not gonna make dinner that night. And so I went out and got him something that I thought that he would like, and I went to a Chinese restaurant. I brought it home. He didn't come home that night. And he never did read that fortune that I read to you in the beginning. He didn't read that. He's hearing it now, and now that you know that little prelude, I want to read it to you again so that you can really hear it. Use your abilities at this time to stay focused on your goal. You will succeed. God bless you all.
We're gonna go to a quick commercial break right now, but be sure to check out yothoutlook.org. Check out videos, check out blogs, whatever you want, whatever you're interested in. Check it out.
So I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Next up, we have a clip for you. Grind for the Green. It's how hip hop and the environment, collide, bang. It's how they coincide, how they work together. It was an event at Yerba Buena Gardens downtown, Metreon area. If you know SF, you know what I'm talking about. So check out the clip right now. What? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Erica X. We're in the beautiful Yerba Buena Gardens today for a very, very exciting event. We have the G4G conference, the culmination of the G4G conference. And for those out there who have no idea what Grind for the Green is, we're about to tell you right now. I'm standing here with beautiful Miss Pandora. It's a wonderful day. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how this whole event got started? What is the whole idea behind Green Jobs?
It's been 4 different conferences, occasions. The first one was like an all-day conference in SF State, which is another partner. Just educating young people about first what's going on in terms of environmental careers, what's going on with the environment.
The little things you guys can do, like lightening the load in your trunk in your car will reduce the emissions of gas from your car, or like, you know, turning out your lights, these little things that you can do.
And they had 2 more events that also educated the young people more, and it drew out a lot of young people because you hear hip hop and getting a career in hip hop, and young people came out. And then the green part was kind of like, oh, and that's right, it's green too. So it wasn't thrown in their faces. It was like an undercurrent, but very positive. It was an all youth run. It's been all youth run events. The Grind for the Green, I think there's 7 or 8 young people who've been working the whole summer. And so this is the culminating event, and it's a solar powered hip hop concert, the first youth-run solar-powered hip-hop concert in the United States. And so we're acting as a model, saying, you know what, young people already are green. Young people already are trying to create and have green jobs. We just really need the finances and the adult support so that young people can continue with this path.
Okay, so as you guys know, we're chilling on the hate. We both came up on some pretty great stuff today. She got a cool Michael Jackson pin. Is he gonna say a few words? That was disturbing. Anyway, we're gonna go to commercial right now. I'm gonna try to recover from that. While we do that, you check out newamericanmedia.org. Oh, he's still doing it. He's still...
Hello, friends and family, homies, pals, little Timmy, Sarah, and all you boys and girls. Today we're going to explore a new word in our series. What did he just say? The word this week? Hater blockers. Can you say hater blockers? Now listen to it in use.
I feel really anonymous with these glasses on. Like I can do
Hater
anything.
blockers? I got my hater blockers. You never heard of hater blockers?
You never heard of Creeper?
Creeper? I got my hater blockers
You don't watch
on.
Jamie Foxx, G's to Gents, or whatever?
It's the greatest show.
There's this guy named Creeper, and he has sunglasses, and he calls them hater blockers, and he never takes them off. It's actually really good name, whatever.
They're my hater blockers.
This has been another installment of What Did He Just Say? On YoTV. Stay tuned next week for more words that make absolutely no sense.
Obama, Biden, McCain, Palin, we are, caught up in politics and who's going to be the next president, the next vice president. But there are some very serious propositions on the ballot.
This is true.
And California, you got to look out for Prop 6.
It's scary, it's big, it affects a lot of young people in some not so great ways, and you need to look at it. So tell me what it is.
Yeah, it's like Prop 21. It's young people as young as 14 who are tried or accused of being in gangs. If they're convicted, they will serve in federal prison like an adult, like a big boy, the big girl, and their kids, their babies.
Yeah.
So we talked to some people who are anti this, and talk to the people.
Be aware.
Prop 6 is a California proposition that's being introduced by George Renner, who is a Republican senator from Southern California. The author of Prop 6 is Mike Reynolds, who was also the author of 3 Strikes. It's what we at the Burns Institute like to call predatory legislation, which means the impact of the legislation will only apply to communities of color and target communities of color. It'll impact youth by lowering the age that a young person could be tried as an adult from 16 to 14. It will target youth and gang-related crimes with significant implications and additional years in sentencing if a young person is convicted of a crime that could be associated to a gang. This could be anything from vandalism to car theft. If it's committed by somebody that is known by law enforcement as a gang member, or who in a effort to try and lower their sentence admitted to being a gang member, they're considered a gang member. And so the way in which it will look on the ground floor is that if a young person gets arrested for carjacking and he's a known gang member, he'll not only get the sentence that he would have got of 5 years for carjacking, but he'll get an additional 5-year sentence for being a so-called gang member. California has a pretty extensive database that was set up obviously by the state. It's called CalGangs, and it has about 22,000 members in it. 200,000 members in it. 22,000 people, as we know today, have no knowledge that they're even listed in the gang database. It'll cost $1 billion to implement Prop 6, should it pass, and half a billion dollars every year after to continue to implement it. We're not really sure what the cost of, like the implications on courts or incarceration, cost of prison. As it stands now, it costs about $13,000 to imprison somebody for 1 year. Obviously, the amount of people that are going to be incarcerated will rise, and the state doesn't have a plan on where they're going to put these people. The Burns Institute is trying to get the word out and educate folks against Prop 6, to vote against Prop 6, because for the last 10 or 12 years, California has seen a number of legislations that negatively impact youth of color and communities of color. 3 Strikes, the civic gang injunctions, Prop 21, all of these have negatively impacted our communities. And we feel like this is just one more that not only is going to put the state into a state of bankruptness, but it will also it's not a move in a positive way to provide our communities or our youth who need intervention and prevention programs with the support that they need. We know that the implications of this will result in more youth being funneled into the prison industrial complex system. We know that it'll mean more people being displaced with civic gang injunctions, more people being displaced for, previous crimes that many of them have already served time for. A couple of other things that Prop 6 does, as far as communities of color, is it would require folks that live in public housing to give an annual criminal background check. And that means all members of public housing. So if you live in a house and there's a 16-year-old and a grandma, but there's only 2 people on the lease, it doesn't mean that just the 2 people would have to submit a criminal background check. It means that every single person in the home. With the implications, if you've been convicted of a crime or a drug crime or a violent crime, it would mean that you're getting evicted.
Thank you guys for letting us into your home for a very short time. Hope you guys enjoyed it, learned some good stuff. We're heading out, but while we do that, you check out some of the websites,
YouthOutlook.org,
Yes.
NewAmericaMedia.org. Stay tuned to our show.
Donnie, Jazz, Chris, have a good one. Get down now.
You say you're gonna do that, bro.